momentarily. We're live now. How are
Yay!
you, Mike?
I'm doing fine. I'm doing good. I let's see. I had ordered some strings for my cigar box from Mike Snowden, the guy I talk about down in Georgia. That's
Right.
the ones he make are just premier, and you can tell because every couple of weeks he puts about 14 or 15 of them online to sell, and they're all sold out within 10 minutes. I mean, around the world. I mean, people just you just got to know. You have to get an email and know when they're going to go out, and if you're wanting one, you just have to look real quick and hit the button, and it's yours. But anyway, he sent me some strings, and he had sent them on the 19th. I never got them. Never. It went like almost 2 weeks, and I wrote him. He said, "Oh man," he said, "the postal service, all the shipping with the pandemic, everything's such a mess." He goes, "I've got guitars I try to send out, and they're not getting there." And he goes, "Give it another day, if you could." I said, "I will." I said, "I give it a couple days." So I gave it a couple more days. By then, it was like Thursday or something like that, and he just sent me a thing here, or on Friday morning, he sent me a thing. "Here's your tracking number. I just went ahead and sent you another package of the strings." And he should have. I mean, it had been like 2 weeks. And that evening, maybe 5 or 6 o'clock, the post office dropped off a little package in my mailbox that were the strings. I mean, if I had waited a couple more days, and I would have called him and said, "Hey, man, they just got here. Don't send anything else." But he, already had the tracking number. But anyway, I sent him that. Now I told him, I put on there, if you'd like some good advertisement for yourself, I said, we do a little thing. I said, my segment, it's 5 days a week. It's 4 o'clock my time, 5 o'clock yours in Marietta, Georgia.
Right.
I said, mine's called Knee Deep in Rubber. It goes back to my dad and his car dealerships.
Right.
I go, we just wanted some funky name that people would remember. And I said, just go on Facebook, Dale Wiley, the Dale Wiley Show. This is on YouTube. And I go, we're in Branson, Missouri. So I said, we're in Missouri. This would be kind of neat for you to do sometime. Just little 30-minute or 20 minutes, whatever. Just show your face, say what you do. Say, hey, Mike here bought one of these guitars from me. And I don't think he will. The guy's so busy. He doesn't need, he does a thing called, what is it? 3-string Thursdays, or 3-string Tuesday, 3-string. I think it's 3-string Thursday, so every Thursday he puts a little video, 10 minutes on. It's about, about either him playing or an amplifier or something. So, I'd ask him one time when I was in Nashville, if I'm ever down that way, can I stop in and see where you make these and everything? He said, "Oh man, I stay too busy. I don't have time, for people to stop by." So I thought that was, wasn't rude, but I mean, that's the difference. I would have said, "Man, stop by if I got some time. I'll show you where I'm making them. If not, I'll at least say hi to you, But we'll see. I don't think he'll write back, but I did my my thing for the day. It's funny, I clicked on this because I was wondering, well, who's going to be on here today? Gee whiz. And
we had a couple of good days in a row with that.
the guy yesterday, Doug,
yes. Or no, Daryl Nelson.
Daryl. I told him, I said, he said, wow, I was wondering, is this guy going to sit up at a swimming pool and play? And I told him, that's nothing. There was some really cute girl that was having a birthday party in the loft of a barn. And I don't know how we carried all of our rock and roll equipment up in the barn, but we had a party up there. He wrote me last night and he told me the girl's exact name. As soon as he wrote the name, I remembered it. It's Renee K. Singer or something like that. He goes, yeah, because he goes, back in those days, Renee talked to me and said, well, you should have been there. This Mike Reed guy had his band there and it rocked. And I was like, man, has he just been around everywhere? or something. I mean, he knows more about me than I know about me. But
That's why it's so cool that he got in touch. And also, let's not forget that we had Jim and Rob on Tuesday. That was so cool as well.
that was, as I told you, I went on Jim. I couldn't figure out how to find his name because it's Jay Doyle. I guess he goes pretty much by Doyle. Now that kind of fits with what he's doing, the rockabilly, that type, the zoot suit, with the little hat on and stuff. And yeah, I was pretty impressed, just all the pictures, seeing what he's doing. Because I mean, that was just a total something different than what we did when we played in a band. In a band, it was we were real young, it was just rock and roll. And then whenever he popped up and told me, remember when we went down to the rock shop and we both ordered Paul Stanley guitars at the same time?
Right.
I had forgot about that, but it's and now he's just really into all this. Well, you've seen some of their bands, or of them.
Yes, definitely.
And it's kind of I don't know, some of them are kind of rockabilly, some of them are, I don't know, they lean more towards Stray Cat type stuff, I mean, and to see him with the gold glitter guitar and I'm like, man, back in the days he played Les Pauls and they were real nice and expensive ones, and that was real interesting. I felt bad because Rob, we didn't get to talk to him much, but he just kind of sat back and listened,
Well, that's good too, though. That's what's fun, is seeing how much impact you've had with everybody is so cool about that.
Yeah, it's definitely been a variety of people. And then he popped up with the studio, the 4 columns, and I couldn't remember what the gentleman's name was, and it was Martin. And then he said, Lou Whitney used to be down there all the time doing stuff, and that's what I'd said. Lou's one that him and Martin wanted me to come down there and do some stuff, and it's just such a small world, and yeah, and that's why I asked him, are you doing this to make a living at it or just for fun?
Right.
And he said, no, he makes a living at it. And I said, I think that's good. I used to always tell guys in bands, if we're going to do this, let's make a living at it.
Let's do it.
Why work another job? Let's do this. Now, there were times when you couldn't work it in, but yeah, I spent most of those years of my life making a living at it, and
that's the whole thing. And so anyway, what else is going on with you today?
Let's see. Everything that don't pertain to being an entertainer. See, my veterinarian called and they said, we still haven't got the special $60 a bag of food in for Brandy and her urinal infection. How's she doing? I go, well, I think she's about well. She don't act like nothing's wrong. He said, well, due to COVID and shipping and everything, we're still not getting that in. So if you can find it somewhere online at one of the pet stores online, they go ahead and order it. And of course they'll have to fax us, and we got to give them the okay to, this is like, it's like medicine dog food, it's Royal Canine or something. And it's a version of it. So that's what woke me up today, was him calling with that. That's about all I've done today. I mean, that's I've got some those little packets that sugar-free that you put in water to make it taste like something, that if you put too much water in it, tastes like water. And so that tastes pretty bad.
Give me a Ray Reid story. Give me a good Ray Reid story.
Oh, a good Ray Reid story. Well, in his little used car lot there in Crane, when he reached the point, he got out of all the car dealerships. It was just in Crane, small town, and the area where his Chevrolet place was. So Chevrolet wanted him to come in and remodel and basically rebuild that whole thing to look more modern. he was going to spend so much money, and he didn't know how long he'd be doing it.
Right.
And I got the little used car lot, and I remember it was basically into, I think it was 4 sections of it. He had his office. My mom had hers right next to him, kind of, that was open. And then across from her was an office area that was mine. And I know I went and bought the stuff you could put on the wall where it looked like trees and waterfalls and stuff. And I mean, mine was everything but you work at the car lot office, mine. And that's where I'd have some music stuff back there. Chuck Warren would come over when we'd rehearse every night.
Right.
And man, that guy would drink, oh man, like a case of Coors Light. I mean, I never seen anybody drink that much, but he enjoyed life. He's still around. He lives in Indianapolis right now. But a Ray Reid story, there were so many. I went. Dad wanted me to go with him to the auto auction in Springfield a few times, so I did. And I was just amazed. He knew everybody. I mean, we couldn't walk. We were out walking, looking at cars, and everybody was just, Ray, hey, Ray, hey, Ray, what do you think of this car? He was an icon there. And he just knew everybody, and a heart of gold. And I know a lot of people that could have never gotten credit to get a car. And he would call up Glenn Wiley.
Yes, exactly.
Call him at the bank. He'd go, Glenn, these people don't have no. Glenn would go, Ray, they just ain't got no credit. Dad would say, I know, but I think they're good for it. They're having rough times. Glenn, well, I don't know, Ray. I don't know. Dad said, I'll do it, Glenn. Well, okay, let's do it. And it was small town stuff, and it was so. And then it got to where my dad and all his buddies, the telephone guy, his nickname was Dial Tone.
Okay.
And Ross Jakeway, who used to work at the post office forever and ever, he must have been 150 years old. And all these guys every afternoon in the car dealership got together with all their racing forums and did horse racing bets and stuff. And nowadays, they would just get on the computer and click in, bet on this and this and this. But back in those days, they had to have newspapers and they had to call in the bets. And I mean, it was a regular booking agent place. Other people didn't come in and do stuff there. It was like their little hobby, and it was good. Dad would get somebody coming in wanting to look at a car, and they'd be right in the middle of some horse racing stuff. Dad would be like, I'll be with you in just a minute. Here's the keys. I'm tossing these keys. Go out there and look at that one. See what you think of it. I'll be out there in a minute. And it was just good. He would do anything that his son wanted, And we bought some bass boats from Bill Crabb.
Love that guy. Great guy.
He was a good guy, and we bought a mini bike from him, and we bought some bass boats, and we would stop at what's that called? Crossroads down there going toward. Yeah, we would stop there, and you could go in and get the bologna sandwiches where they'd slice them ever how thick you were. My dad, we'd load up with chips and sandwiches and soda pop, and and Dad didn't care if he got a bite. We'd get out in the boat, and he'd cast literally 5 or 6 times. He'd go, I think we better have some sandwiches. What do you think? I go, okay. So we put the pole down, then we'd sit there and eat. Those were such great times. And, then we bought a 21-foot with a 200-inch, a big bass boat, a huge one.
Right.
And one thing, the bigger the boat, they take rough water better. And my dad had open heart surgery, so he wasn't in the greatest of shape to be out bouncing around in the water.
Right.
So it's kind of like with this boat, it made it a lot easier for him. And it's kind of like after he passed, I still liked it, but anytime I was out on the lake, it's just something was missing. He wasn't there. And
Well, Mike has frozen up, it looks like. Let's see what's going on here. He stopped in mid-word. I'm going to take him off and then come back on as soon as he gets it right. And in the meantime, again, I just love all the stuff. He's back on already, so that's great. Now hopefully he's coming on. Let's see. Oh, now let's see. Let's add to stream here. I thought we'd have him. I could see him in the corner. Well, let's let Mike get this figured out. But also, I just have to say that make sure that you go to heroesandmiracles.org and see the projects we're doing there and how you could support them, because that's really the big part of how this started, is just wanting to help people and want to tell their stories. And so make sure you go visit heroesandmiracles.org and see how you can help this organization. And I really thought by now Mike would be back, so let's just give him a little more time here. But otherwise, while I'm, not having a co-host, I would just say we had great meetings today with everything going on with the re-release of Slewfoot Records and just all the different things that are going on. And it's so fun to be involved in all that. It's so fun to see all of this stuff come together at the same time. It's so cool to see everything in your life come together and reach one purpose. It's really cool to see that. So excited about that. And just really, I'm still waiting on a co-host here. I don't know where he is, but hope he comes back on, because I love to hear from him every day. And like you said, every day at 4:00, it's knee deep in rubber time. And so hopefully he'll come back on here and we'll have more to talk about, because Mike always has something to say and it's always good stuff. So let's give him a couple more minutes and let's make sure that he's included, because that's one thing that I always say on my podcast is everybody's got a story to tell. And if I didn't learn that already, the past year has shown me that that is entirely true. And the people who don't think they have a story to tell have the best stories to tell. And that's one of the things that I've learned in this year of listening more and talking less. It's more fun to listen than talk. And so I'm going to give Mike a couple more minutes here just to keep everything going. And because I know that he was on here ready to go. And so I just expect him to pop back up in a minute. But in the meantime, I would just say, if you haven't gone, go to dalewiley.com. That's where my books are. The podcasts are at dalewiley.show.com. I did more than 10,000 hours of podcasting last year alone. And it's been fun to kind of see your guests and your ability to handle these things increase. We started from just doing audio, and now we're doing more video stuff, and we're making a lot of headway, a lot of cool stuff to come. I'll tell you that for sure. But just even the meetings today, it was so cool to hear them, but not seeing Mike yet. Hoping that he comes on here in a couple more minutes and finishes up the half hour. And I don't really know. Oh, see, I need to get let's get my banner up here for sure. Let's do that while we're waiting. Let's see. Let's do that. Yep, there. I got the banner back up here for the 4:00 show. Still waiting for the co-host. Don't know where he is. But it's been so fun. And that's one of the things that I'll just take a minute and say, if you want to send me an email me at dalewiley@gmail.com. If you're an old friend of Mike's and want to be on this show, I would love to hear from you and love to have you, because it's one of these things where Mike enjoys that, and he's touched so many people. And one of the best things I've been able to do is just show him how many people he's touched in his life. That's one of the most fun things. such a great entertainer, an amazing and quality entertainer. And this idea that he has about taking this format and making it a show in Branson, I think is amazing. And I'm so happy to be involved in that. And so now it's about the 20-minute mark. And it's about time to go ahead and go to that stuff. And please email me if you want to be on this show. If you're an old friend of Mike's, I would love to have you on the show. Again, that email is dalewiley@gmail.com. Love to have you on here. And otherwise, I'll sign off and tell you to remember Ray Reed's dad and just say, or Mike Reed's dad, and just say it's knee deep in rubber.